Russia, it's weaponizing Melania's past. I don't know if you know this, but on Russian TV, they frequently show Melania nude in order to mock Donald Trump. So they show all these photos of Melania. By the way, Melania's previously made posts about how proud she is of her nudes, but did you know that after Donald Trump and Melania met, she got what was called an Einstein visa?
Russian state TV turned Melania's old modeling photos into a political weapon, mocking Trump on air. But what they're exposing isn't just images from the past. All of this comes straight from public records and on-air footage, shared for context and education. With that in mind, let's get back to the story.
You see, Donald Trump went to a club in Manhattan called the KitKat Club, where there were parties that were frequently thrown for very rich Manhattan elites, businessmen, to mingle and find very young models from Eastern Europe. Models from Eastern Europe. And Melania was a model from Eastern Europe who was brought to the United States, who would attend these parties where the rich men would show up and mingle with the models.
KitKat Club wasn't exactly a fairy tale ballroom, and Melania didn't just stumble into Trump's orbit. She was placed there, like everyone else in the room, for a reason. If you're starting to question how first ladies get chosen, hit subscribe because this goes deeper than fairy tales.
Did you know that after Donald Trump and Melania met, she got what was called an Einstein visa? She was treated like a genius, an exceptional achievement visa that gave her a fast track to become a United States citizen. She then used her citizenship to bring in her family members, a policy that Donald Trump is blocking, and that Donald Trump would send people like that, I guess if their skin color was brown or black, to concentration camps in the Everglades called Alligator Alcatraz.
That nightclub meeting didn't just spark a romance, it opened a fast track. Melania soon secured an Einstein visa, granting her U.S. citizenship, and used it to bring her parents to America, the same pathway Trump would later vow to shut down. What came next would test just how far she was willing to stand by him.
He described it as locker room talk. To you, I mean, you sort of alluded to that as well. Is that what it is to you, just locker room talk?
Yeah, it's kind of two teenage boys. Actually, they should behave better, right?
He was 59.
Correct. And sometimes I said, I have two boys at home. I have my young son and I have my husband. So, but I know how some men talk, and that's how I saw it.
At the height of the Access Hollywood scandal, she wasn't just silent, she defended him, comparing a 59-year-old presidential candidate to teenage boys.
Melania, after Donald Trump, was caught on video bragging about sexually assaulting women and grabbing women by their genitals. And he says, because if you're rich, they let you do it. She said that's locker room talk and that she was okay with it.
It was loyalty on full display, and the media never stopped replaying it. And in this story, the next chapter would take her from defending a tape to questioning a birth certificate.
And then she was also one of the biggest spreaders of the birther conspiracies against former President Obama. She was used by Donald Trump frequently to go and attack Obama.
The irony was impossible to miss. An immigrant first lady questioning the Americanness of the nation's first black president.
Well, I needed to put mine anyway, because if you want to become an American citizen, you need to put the birth certificate.
Right.
I have a birth certificate from Slovenia. And do you want to see President Obama birth certificate or not?
I've seen it.
It's not a birth certificate.
Well, it's a certificate of live birth,
Right,
which they get. But Melania, if he insists on what he's saying, then no one in Hawaii can ever run for president, because they all get the same live birth certificate.
President Obama just show it, and because it's not only Donald who wants to see it. It's American people who voted for him and who didn't vote for him. They want to see that.
But it's on display in Chicago. We've seen it on the internet. We've seen it. It's not the same as yours, but it's a certificate of live birth.
Well, it's not. It's not him that it's bringing up. It's the media all the time.
And if questioning Obama's birth certificate wasn't bold enough, she'd soon take something else from the Obamas, their words.
And that's more important than anything.
And of course, Melania would plagiarize Michelle Obama's speech at the Democratic National Convention. Literally, Melania's speech during Trump's first Republican National Convention was literally copy and pasted of Michelle Obama's speech.
The values that you work hard for what you want in life.
For what you want in life.
That your word is
that your word is your bond. That you do what you say you're going to do.
Keep your promise.
That you treat people
with
dignity and respect, because we want our children and all children in this nation to know that the only limit to the height of your achievements is the reach of your dreams and your willingness to work hard for them.
When Michelle Obama said these words in 2008, they were inspiring. When Melania said them in 2016, they were deja vu.
Melania did. She called me and she goes, Anna Winter, editor-in-chief of Vogue magazine, put the porn hooker in Vogue. Now, I was like, what? She said she shot the porn hooker. And I didn't know what she was talking about. And Melania's only concern was that Vogue was actually profiling Stephanie Clifford, Stormy Daniels, not anything about the fact that the conversation in everyone's households was that Donald was having an affair with Stormy Daniels at the time.
Then came the Stormy Daniels chapter. When the headlines should have been about betrayal, Melania's anger focused on something else. The Vogue cover.
She's able to compartmentalize so completely and so utterly uncaringly. There is no, she knows who she married and he knows who he married. She knows what she got into and she knows what she gets from this marriage. And that's more important than anything.
While Stormy walked into trial poised and professional, Melania's private fury over a magazine spread became public record. For the press, it wasn't just scandal. It was a window into a marriage where image always outweighed intimacy.
There was that audio recording where Melania was livid that Stormy was going to be on the cover of Vogue or in Vogue. And she was calling her like a porn star hooker. And she was saying that to you, they're putting the porn star in the front and this is so embarrassing. So she's always been humiliated by the Stormy ordeal. The fact that all of this testimony came out during the trial about what Donald was saying about her to Stormy, and perhaps even just the way that Stormy presented at trial, so professional, was a real kind of superstar and stood up there for herself.
But she didn't stop at the visa. She turned the whole thing into a business. And if you think that's where it peaks, you haven't seen the price tag.
And now Melania pretty much just grifts. She has her meme grift, which the meme coin crashed. She sells her book, Why Do I Stand Proudly Behind My Nude Modeling Work. Melania was with her personal stylist, Pierre Brallard, who's paid about $18,000 a month. Her stylist gets paid $18,000 a month from Trump's PAC. So Trump's supporters, who demanded the release of the Epstein files, who Donald Trump's calling stupid, they've funded the stylist for her.
For the media, it was less about a marriage crisis and more about a first lady measuring her image against a magazine spread.
She's gotten paid $155,000 for doing speaking engagements for Donald Trump. She shows up at a location, she sits at a location, she gets paid $155,000 for doing that.
Should the first lady represent the people or just profit off them? Drop your thoughts in the comment.
I guess one of the questions as well, she sells the Meta Rose, this photo, it's a digital photo that she sells for $150. I guess when Donald Trump calls his supporters stupid, I guess anybody buying a $150 digital image of a Meta Rose, I don't even know what that means is.
So, Melania doesn't need to give a speech, just show up, sit down, and cash $155,000. And if this is loyalty, wait until you see what it looks like when the price isn't right.
He's just going out there to meet, these young models. How Donald and Melania met at the KitKat Club. They were linked by someone named Paolo Zampoli, who's Paolo secured Miss Trump's visa to the United States and introduced her to her future husband at a 1998 party he hosted at the KitKat Club. Mr. Zampoli's parties have featured an alligator, tiger cubs, and models at nightclubs blowing kisses at fashion television cameras.
After all the speeches, scandals, and side hustles, the love story goes back to where it began. Not in a ballroom, not in some diplomatic reception, but in a Manhattan nightclub called the KitKat Club.
Melania, Donald Trump's dark past, it's resurfacing in ways it's his worst nightmare. Melania and Donald, they'd hang out a lot with Ghislaine and Epstein. Also, you can see here that Melania and Donald, they would hang out with. That's Karen McDougal right there, who Donald Trump eventually cheated on Melania with right after Melania gave birth to Barron.
So the real plot twist came when their social circle overlapped with some of the most infamous names in America, Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein.
Trump was a frequent passenger on Epstein's plane, known as the Lolita Express, and Epstein told author Michael Wolff the first time he slept with Melania was on my plane.
And that is how I met your mother, Barron. Any questions? Any? I'll tell you, next time you're on a flight with a crying baby, just think about how much worse it could be.
And if that's how the relationship started, it raises one uncomfortable question. Was this ever about love or just logistics? Stay with us. What's coming next doesn't just expose Melania, it unravels the whole brand.
Somewhere in between.
I do. I treat women with great respect.
Treat women somewhere in between respect and doo-doo.
And things with Melania are good.
Excellent.
The sex is still good.
The sex is extraordinary.
Well, she is terrific in bed. Now, she wouldn't want me to say that, but she is.
Oh, man, she's naked there, isn't she?
She is excellent.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a thing of beauty.
Oh, what a life you have.
Not so bad, Robin.
This is a candidate.
Hey, Donald.
That's right.
Does she wear outfits to bed, like special outfits?
No, she wears nothing. Which is much better.
You know, she's a great beauty, but she's a great beauty inside, which is almost as important.
Even simple questions about respect drew answers that made headlines. Instead of reassurance, it sounded more like late-night comedy.
Since day one, they've been inseparable. If you don't count the 6 months she stayed in New York while she reportedly renegotiated her prenup. But after that, it was a love story for the age. Those ages being a hot 50 and, 97. During their time in the White House, Melania and Donald were often seen taking long, romantic walks, holding hands, trying to hold hands, and refusing to hold hands. Yes, you could always see the look of fiery passion whenever Melania was at her husband's side. And it's easy to see why.
Commentators picked up on the contradictions. A love story sold for the cameras often looked more like a negotiation, with hand-holding attempts that played out awkwardly in front of the world.
You see, she's not just the stepmom of these 4 little boss babies. She's the nation's stepmom, there for America every other weekend and on holidays. So when she saw the bullying epidemic that was tormenting the country, she stepped forward with a grammatically courageous initiative.
Today, I'm very excited to announce Be Best, an awareness campaign dedicated to the most valuable and fragile among us, our children.
So thank you, Melania. You made America smile. And we hope we made you smile. No? There it is. Wait, false alarm. There we go. Okay, whatever.
And for audiences, the effort looked more ceremonial than heartfelt.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the first lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly.
Whether those claims were fair or not, the impression stuck. By 2024, Melania seemed less a political partner and more a reluctant figure on the sidelines.
But then Melania got her family citizenship. Melania Trump used a legal pathway that her husband and his top advisors has repeatedly disparaged as chain migration, the right of U.S. citizens to bring their parents to the United States. Federal law since 1965 has said U.S. citizens may apply to bring minor children and parents to join them in the United States without having to wait a long time for a visa. Citizens may sponsor siblings and adult children, but they typically wait longer for visas.
Cold marriage aside, nothing's icier than the gap between his immigration talk and her immigration walk. Melania used the very chain migration policy Trump loves to demonize, not for strangers, but for her own parents.
So Melania gets the expedited path based on an Einstein visa after meeting Donald Trump at the KitKat Club. Then she brings in her family, and now Donald Trump's against all of those same policies.
At the fashion party, it was a big fashion party that my friend organized, a fashion week, and he invited me. That's how we met with Donald.
Did you like him immediately or not?
I like him. He had a great charm, but he arrived with the date. So when I came back, I called him and we got together.
So you called him?
Yes.
He didn't call you?
Well, first when we met, I didn't give him my number. He was with the date. So I told him, give me your number and I will call you. I wanted to see what kind of number he would give me. Business, home. If he would give me a business number, I'm not a girl doing business with him. Why he would give me a business number? So he gave me all of them. And when I came back, I said, give me your number, I promise I will call you. And I came back after the photo shoot and I called him.
And so then you went out on a date?
If the woman who once built her public life around the Trump name is now quietly rebranding herself, it raises the question, what happens to the brand when even Melania stops believing in it? In politics and in marriage, collapse rarely comes from the outside. More often, it begins within. From international headlines to private eye rolls, this wasn't just a story about Melania's silence, it was about the calculated, curated role she played in shaping the Trump myth. What began with Russian TV resurrecting old nude photos became a deeper unraveling of a first lady who wasn't just complicit, but strategic. Through scandals, speeches, and even separate bedrooms, Melania helped uphold a brand now buckling under its own contradictions. This video covers a televised segment where Russian TV channels aired content about Melania Trump, which has been widely discussed in the media. All content shown is based on verified footage and reputable sources. We aim to reflect the facts and public reactions accurately, without exaggeration or distortion. This video complies fully with YouTube's community guidelines and fair use policy for political commentary, media analysis, and public interest. If you found this video insightful or engaging, feel free to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.